Let's examine a behavior in Power Query that, if you're not aware of, has the potential to cause some serious problems. When removing duplicates from a data source, where the removal process is based on a very specific sorting, Excel will give you results like this. And in my desired sort order, this is the information that I want. But running that exact same process through Power Query yields very different results, very different incorrect results. Let's explore why this happens in Power Query. And then I want to offer 3 options for getting the exact same results from Power Query that I received from Excel. I have a table of sales, and what I'd like to do is extract the latest sale from each supplier. If there are multiple sales by the same supplier on the same date, I would like the sale with the greatest value. In Excel, this is very straightforward and simple. I'll go into the table, we'll go up to Data, and then Sort. My primary sort will be my supplier, and this will be in ascending order. My secondary sort will be date, and this will be in the newest to oldest order. And then my third level or tertiary sort will be by sales, in largest to smallest order. I hit OK, and the data is sorted. So in this case, I would like to get this record from Athlete's Dream, but if I scroll down, I'd like this record from Athlete's World, and then keep going, this record from Specialty Sports. Now, keeping the data in place but just extracting the needed records, one way to do this would be to select the table and copy it, and then I'll come over here and paste it. On the data ribbon, we'll go up here to the icon labeled Remove Duplicates. Since everything's in already sorted order, I just need the first entry for each supplier. So I'll hit OK, and it removed 337 duplicates, keeping 9 entries. And so here's the table. Excel simply kept the first row of each encountered supplier. The only reason this worked is because the data was already sorted. I've returned the table to a randomized order, and let's use Power Query to sort this data and then try to remove the duplicates based on the first encountered supplier. So we'll click in the data. On the Data tab, we'll choose From Table or Range. We'll go to Supplier and sort this in ascending order. Then we'll go to Date, do a descending sort, and then Sales, another descending sort. With the supplier column selected, we'll go up to Remove Rows, Remove Duplicates. Let's load this back out into Excel. And as is plainly obvious, these are not the same results. So why does Power Query not select the first row of each encountered supplier group? In Power Query, sort first, then remove duplicates is not guaranteed to preserve that visible sort order. Microsoft explicitly warns that after sorting, downstream operations like remove duplicates might appear to keep the top row, but that behavior is not guaranteed. They also state there's no guarantee that the first instance in a duplicate set will even be chosen. What's causing this is typically the result of one of 3 things. First, the sort order is not being preserved. Power Query is an optimization engine, not a simple row-by-row processor. A step that looks like sort, then remove duplicates in the Applied Steps panel can be internally rearranged or pushed back to the source. So the duplicate removal logic may run against the data in a different physical order than the one you see in the preview. This is why the kept rows may look random. Another option is that query folding may push the logic to the source. If your query folds, the source system may execute the deduplication in its own way, and unless the generated logic guarantees row priority, the surviving row per supplier is not reliably the first row in your preview. If you're not clear about the concept of query folding, I put a link in the video description, or you can click the thing up there in the corner if it pops up, for a video I made that explains the process of query folding. Finally, the Table.Distinct function does not promise to keep the first visible row. The official Table.Distinct documentation describes duplicate removal, but it does not promise stable preservation of the current sorted sequence when choosing which record survives. I put a link in the video description for Microsoft's duplicate handling article that makes this warning explicit. Remember, Power Query is step-based, but it's optimized. The results depend on the applied steps, not the preview order. The 3 methods for making this work. The first will be to use a Table.Buffer function. The second will be to use an index column. And then finally, the third will be to use the GroupBy option. We'll begin with the Table.Buffer solution. We'll go to the data, go up to the Data tab, From Table Range. We'll perform the sorting, so supplier will be in ascending order, date will be in descending order, and sales will be in descending order. In order to lock these entries into their positions, we need to implement the Table.Buffer function. Very simply described, Table.Buffer will take a snapshot of the table and force Power Query to use that snapshot for the following step. So we'll go up to the FX button and we'll insert a new step, and right after the equal sign, we'll type in Table.Buffer, open close parentheses, and hit enter. So this just took a picture of the table. Now if we go to the supplier column, remove rows, remove duplicates, we have extracted the first encountered record of each supplier. So the optimization that occurred earlier, where the duplicate removal may have actually happened before the sorting, was prevented. Let's drop that back into Excel. By using the Table.Buffer function, Power Query is now producing the expected results, the same thing that Excel gave us with its native remove duplicates feature. Another option for producing the desired results is to add an index column. So as before, we'll go to the data, go up to table range, we'll perform the same sort we did earlier, supplier ascending, date descending, sales descending. But now let's go up to add column, and we're going to add an index column. Adding an index column will break query folding and lock the row priority into the order that you intended. Now we can go back to supplier, go up to home, remove rows, remove duplicates, and we get the expected results. We can now just remove the index column. Let's send this back to Excel. As hoped, the results are now in the correct order. Our third and final option will demonstrate how to use the GroupBy feature in Power Query to achieve this result. Compared to the previous solutions, this one's going to have more steps. But because of those steps, we gain extra flexibility, such as the ability to pick maybe more than one item from each group. This could be supplied as a user-defined parameter. For this first pass, we'll go to the data from table range. In Power Query, we'll perform the sort, so ascending by supplier, descending by date, descending by sales. Now we'll create a group for each supplier, separating all the records of each group into a separate table. So with supplier selected, we'll go up to GroupBy, we'll group by supplier, and we'll just create a new column called Details that captures all of the rows from each group. Hit OK. Now we have a nested table of records for each supplier. And if we peek into this, we'll see all the records for Athlete Stream, Athletes World, Specialty Sports, etc. And each of these tables has preserved the original sort order of the original table: supplier, date, then sale. We're now going to go up to Add Column and add a custom column. The function that we'll use will extract the first record of each of those nested tables. I'll leave the generic name of custom, and the function we're going to use is a first end function, and we want to make sure we use the table version, not the list version, because we're getting the first entry from tables. The first end function has two arguments. Where are those tables? Those are in the details column. Comma, how many rows do you want to extract from the beginning of each of those tables? In this case, I'll put a 1. Close parentheses, we'll hit OK, and now we have subset tables. So in Athlete Stream, where the first table contained every record for Athlete Stream, the subsetted version only contains the first row of that table. The advantage of using this method is that we could replace this number 1 with a parameter, so the user could tell us exactly how many rows they wanted to extract from each supplier. Now once we have these subset tables, we don't need the original tables any longer, so we can delete that column. Now we need to extract the data from those subset tables. We already have the supplier, so we don't need that, so we're going to extract the date and the sales. I won't use column prefixing, I'll hit OK. And to get this back into the original order, I'll take the date column and put that before the supplier column. We did lose our data typing in this process, so I'll have to redata type this as a date and redata type this as currency. Let's send this back to Excel. Here are the results of the extracted first records from each group. Looking back at this GroupBy solution, by using the GroupBy function, we were able to nest each associated record into a separate table. Then using Table.FirstEnd, we were able to extract the first row from each of those tables. But the result of that extraction is another table. What if you wanted that extraction to be a record instead of a table? Now this will limit you to extracting only one item. You won't have the flexibility of giving the user to supply a parameter. But if that's all you want is the first item and you need it in record form, simply replace the Table.FirstEnd function with a Table.First function. and then we'll take out that second argument that asks for the first row. We'll give it a check, and each of those tables is now a record, and we can click from record to record and see that it's the first entry from each of those tables. We'll remove the original table column, but in the previous query, when we expanded the nested subtables, this will now fail because it's trying to expand a table and we have a record now. So we'll delete that step, and now returning to the remove column step just before the table expansion, we'll now expand the records. We don't need the supplier, we already have that, and I'm not going to use column prefixing. We'll insert this as a new step, and as before, we'll rearrange the order of the columns and set our data types. Let's dump this back into Excel. Here is our extracted information, but based on extracted records, not extracted tables. The bottom line is Power Query does not select the first encountered supplier row, because in Power Query, the row order you see is not automatically the row order used by the Remove Duplicates feature. The result seems random because the engine is free to evaluate the distinct steps without honoring the preview sort unless you force determinism. And we do that with either Table.Buffer, index columns, or the GroupBy option. Let me know your thoughts about this in the comments below. And don't forget to download this file from the link in the video description so you can have access to all of these queries, full documentation of each step, and links to all of the resources that I referenced during this lesson. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, at BCTI, the learning never stops.